So again, we're only left with 1 week for the green card lottery. So if you haven't applied, your family hasn't applied, your friends haven't applied, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is NAFULA. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed to my channel, again, I just want to say thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching my videos. So again, we're only left with 1 week for the green card lottery. So if you haven't applied, your family hasn't applied, your friends haven't applied, make sure you share the link. You can share a link to my video so that they can learn how to do it. And then you can also share the link to the application to the DV lottery. The link is going to be on this description video below. So you can just encourage them to click on the link and apply. You only have 1 week left. For those of you in relationships, or maybe you're engaged, you have your girlfriend and you're applying for the green card lottery, you're just wondering, like, if I win the green card lottery, how do I go about bringing my spouse or bringing my current girlfriend or my fiance with me to immigrate in the United States? And that's what I'll be explaining in this video today. The question is, can you bring your spouse, or can you add your spouse, your girlfriend, your fiance after you win the green card lottery? And the answer is yes. I'll be explaining this, so if you decide to take that route, you know what the implications are gonna be. So when you apply for the green card lottery, it's okay to get married. Or if you've already won the green card lottery, it's okay to get married. But then it's important, like if you want to immigrate with your spouse, to include them in the DS-260. Like if you applied when you're single and then now you're married, so you have to understand that they were previously your fiance, but then now they're your wife or your husband. So you have to include them in the DS-260. But then when you win the green card lottery, when you go to the interview, you have to prove, like, whatever information that you provided there is accurate. So they want to double check your documents. So when you add somebody else, like you add your fiance that you're now married, so you add your wife or your husband. Remember, you were not married when you applied. So you applied as single, but then now you're filing the DS-260 as married. So you have to understand that you're bringing somebody else into the picture. So not only will the embassy require you to prove your own case that you deserve to get the green card lottery, they need to prove that your wife or your husband that you added on, that you didn't get married because you won the green card lottery, because a lot of people do that. So you'll be under a lot of scrutiny to make sure that your marriage is bona fide. So not only do you have to prove that you are eligible to go to the United States, but then now you added this other person there that they need to prove their documentation too. And if for some reason they find that that marriage is questionable, guess what? Even if you qualify to go to the United States, you'll be denied a visa. So before you include somebody, like if you decide to get married either after applying your green card lottery or after winning your green card lottery, you have to make sure, like if you're marrying somebody, you know this person really well and you have evidence. They might ask you for the pictures for the wedding. They will ask you for some questions to make sure like you guys are genuinely getting married and not because of the green card. They will ask you where you meet. They might even separate the two of you and put both of you in 2 different rooms and then ask you the same questions. And you have to provide the same answer, because if they ask you where you met, your answer with your spouse's answer need to match. So they will try to make sure that they prove that your marriage is genuine. And if you're learning from my videos or you're enjoying my videos, I will encourage you to click the like button, because that way it gets recommended to other people on YouTube. You can like, you can comment, you can share this video, and I just want to again thank you for your support. So maybe the DV lottery, you as the DV lottery winner, you qualify to go to the United States. Your documents are spot on. Everything that you said on the application is correct. But then now you included this other person where they have to prove that your relationship is genuine. So they will either, try to make, they will ask, sometimes they go as far as asking, okay, do you have text messages between you two to show that you're planning for the wedding before you even won the green card lottery? So you'll have to prove that marriage is genuine. And if it's not, if they feel like in their mind, they feel like whatever answers you provided they're not like satisfactory, guess what? You will be denied a visa because you've added somebody else. So that's something that you should completely understand before. So what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to discourage you from adding somebody else. But if you're going to add somebody and you're going to say that this is my wife or is my husband, make sure it's true and you have proof for it. So if you get married, make sure you get a marriage license or marriage certificate that you'll have to go with it to the interview. And on top of that, they might need additional, requirements. They will ask you okay, let me see the pictures. Let me see any other proof to prove that this was going on before you won the green card lottery. Because some people win the green card lottery and other people try to pay them money so that they can marry somebody else and go to the United States with them. And the US Embassy is aware of that. So the moment you include somebody that was not in your initial application, it raises a lot of scrutiny, and you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And this can also happen with when you have a child, when you have if you're not married and then you ended up getting married, then you can add your spouse. And also if you have a child after you win the green card lottery. So for the women, you're pregnant and then you have a baby, you have to add the baby. So that's understandable. For the men, the same thing. But then you will need to, they might ask for DNA to just prove that kid is yours. So the moment you add somebody else that was not in your initial application, besides the requirements that you have to prove for yourself, you have to prove the requirements for this other person that you're adding into the application. So the question is, can you add somebody else like a wife or a child after you win the green card lottery and successfully immigrate with them to the United States? The answer is yes. So if you applied as single, you can add either your wife that you're not married to before when you applied, or you can add a child that you didn't have or they were born after you applied or after you won the DV lottery. You can add them and they can immigrate to the United States successfully, but you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you're not trying to commit fraud. So beside proving your requirements, you'll have to prove requirements for this other relationship that you're adding into your application. So if you're planning on getting married, I will advise after you applied for the DV lottery and you applied as single, if you're gonna get married, you'd rather do it sooner rather than later, so that in case you win, you can just add your new spouse to your DS-260 and then you process your visa together. But after you win the green card lottery, you can marry them, but then you have to understand that if you have to change the names, get new passports with new names, it takes a while. So by the time your interview, maybe you might not have done all that. So you have to make sure timing is key. If you're gonna do that, you'd rather do that now rather than later. And if for some reason you win the green card lottery, submit your DS-260, and then you marry somebody later, then you have to make sure you follow up and update your DS-260. You let them know that you're now married. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is it's easier if you apply for the green card lottery. If you want to get married, marry right away, even before you win. And then when you file for your DS-260, you just include your spouse there, rather than waiting until you win, because it'll be questionable. Okay, maybe you want to marry them because you won the green card lottery. So you'd rather marry them now if you want to get married. That way, still you'll have to prove, then it's not gonna be you waited until you won the green card lottery to marry, because a lot of people pay others so that they can marry, or brothers, and bring them to the United States, and they'll offer a lot of money. But then when you make that mistake, just make sure you can lose your chance of coming to America just because you included somebody. And finally, for the genuine relationships out there, don't be afraid to apply as unmarried. You can apply as unmarried. and then marry your current fiance or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and then you can add them to your DS-260 after you win, and you can successfully come here. So that's possible. So if you decide like maybe I don't want to marry them now, I don't want to go through like, you know, having to prove the relationship, I don't want to risk my chances of like losing my chance to go to the United States, what you can do, then you can decide like, you know, like I'm gonna come here, and then once I get my green card, I'll go back and then I'll go marry them and then bring them here. But then you have to understand that that takes a longer process. So you'll have to go there, and then you have a green card. So you're marrying somebody as a green card holder. You're marrying somebody as a green card holder. So what does that mean? Like their number doesn't come right away to be eligible for a visa. So it might take 3 years, 5 years, or sometimes longer to bring them here. But then you'll be able to bring them here anyways. But then it will take a little bit longer. So when you take that route, you have to understand the implication too. So now that I've explained the both ways, like, you know, the implication of marrying them after you apply for the green card lottery and including them in the DS-260. Number 2, marrying them after you file for the DS-260. And number 3, deciding to come here and then going back to marry them. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. So some people will be like, you know, they won the green card lottery. It's so hard to, you know, win the green card lottery. So they don't want to like risk it of like, you know, having to add somebody there, and then they go to the interview and then they're like, your marriage is fraud, and then they deny them a visa. They don't want to take that chance of like, you know, risking their win. They decide to come here and then go back and marry them. That's okay. And then some people decide, you know what, I'm just going to include them and we immigrate together. If whatever happens, happens. If we don't get a visa, we stay back together. Okay, so now it's up to you to decide after learning all this, and you can read more on that on the website. Or you can ask your friends, you know, what they did or the experience was adding them, because just adding somebody else, just know it's going to be like more proof that you need, more documentation. So now that you're aware of that, you know, like, yeah, you can immigrate with your spouse if you get married, but then that is the implication. If you have any questions, you can type them in this video below, and I'll try to answer those questions with the best of my ability. Last but not least, if you applied for the DV Lottery 2024, or you won the DV Lottery last year, or you're interested in becoming a host, you can sign up on NAFULAconnect.com. And how you do that is you go to NAFULAconnect.com, and then it brings you to this page here. If you want to get my Facebook, you click this one right here. If you want to go to my Instagram, it's right here. And then if you want to go to my YouTube, you can go right here. But then to sign up, if you applied for the DV Lottery, you're going to go to the guest and host pairing. So if you just applied for the Green Card Lottery, you're going to go to the guest and host pairing on NAFULA.com, and you're going to go all the way at the bottom, and then here where it says sign up, you're going to enter your email address, and then you're going to sign up here. So that's for the people who just applied for the Green Card Lottery. You'll need to enter your email here and then sign up. That way you can be on the list in case you win. Then you'll be considered for hosting, like if you have hosts available, or there's like availability for people who want to host. If you won the DV Lottery last year and you have not found a host, so you're gonna get to this form here. It says guest DV Lottery winner. So put your name, date of birth, the country where you're from, the gender, how many people, and their ages. Like if you're 5 people, make sure you include their ages. You have to put your confirmation number, and we need the case number, and then your phone number, your email address. And if you need special accommodations, like maybe you're disabled, or maybe you don't speak a certain language, or you don't eat certain foods, then, or maybe you don't want to stay with certain people, you can put all those accommodation needs here, and then you click on the send. If you're a visitor visiting the United States and you like to live with somebody as opposed to living in a hotel, you're gonna go to the guest visas temporary visit. You're gonna put your name, age and gender, the country where you're from, how long will you be here, and and when are you coming, and how much are you willing to pay the host. And then your phone number, your email, and then again, if you have any accommodation, you're going to put those here. Last is for a host. If you want to sign up to be a host, to host somebody from Africa, either they can pay you rent, or if you have kids and you need help, you can just tell them, like, I'm going to host you for free, but then you'll help me with the kids. So you make a deal before they even get here. So if you want to be a host and you're interested and you live in the United States, you don't have to be a citizen. You can just enter your name here, your phone number, your email, special accommodation, what country you're from, how many people can you accommodate, what are the age ranges, male, female, or if any, that's fine. And then for free, you can just say free, and then on the special request, you can just say free, but then I need help with childcare, or 0 to 500 rent per month, 500 to 1,000, and above 1,000. But then you just need to consider that those people coming here are usually the DV lottery winners. They're from countries where they don't make a lot of money. Some of them they can barely raise their air ticket. So you can be like, 1 month free, and then after that, when you get a job, you'll pay $500 a month, and then you're gonna click send. And then just to review, you only fill this form if you won the lottery. So if you won the lottery last year, you fill this form. If you just applied for the lottery, so this is not a form for you to fill. You fill at the bottom. So if you won the lottery, fill this one. If you have a guest visa or B1 visa, B2, you can complete here. And then if you want to be a host, you can sign up here. And finally, if you just applied for the green card lottery, you just sign up here to receive new visa updates. So like, when the results are out, I'll send out an email and I'm like, hey, the results are out. You can just go ahead and check, see if you won. Thanks for watching.